days after days.
Oh, poor me.
Okay, can we start, right? I will
Yeah, is it the
have some kind of introduction.
yeah,
Are you ready, Miss Tan? Yes?
yeah, ready.
Okay.
Are you
Good
are you recording?
afternoon.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, our presenters and
Hi.
participants. Welcome
Yeah.
to our virtual Beauty Zone International Convention 2020. On behalf of the organizing committee, we would like to thank you so much for your participation and contribution. We are Trần Thị Ngọc Hoa and Nguyễn Nguyệt Minh as the presentation moderators. We are absolutely happy to see you all here. We highly hope that all of you will be able to gain some valuable knowledge after our great presentation today. Before the presentation, I'd like to have some kind of remarks because the Q&A section is very short, just 5 to 10 minutes. So please participate. Can you please leave any questions if you have in the chat box so that we can gather and the presenters can easily answer them at the end of their presentation. And with us this afternoon, we gladly welcome Ms. Đỗ Thị Mai Thanh in this 30-minute presentation, which is about promoting intercultural competence for EFL students. Ms. Mai Thanh is a lecturer at Vietnam National University, Hanoi, University of Languages and International Studies. Her interests include intercultural communication, literature, and social linguistics. She has been working and studying over the fields for over 15 years. And now, please welcome Ms. Đỗ Thị Mai Thanh.
Thank you, moderator. It's my honor to be here to present my paper about, intercultural competence. Intercultural communication has been taught at my university for over 20 years, and intercultural competence is one of the tasks, one of the aspect of my course. And today, I would like to just say something about some kinds of activities in order to promote our student EFL intercultural communication competence. So, oh, yeah. As you can see, intercultural communication competence requires understanding of the context, appropriateness, effectiveness in dissimilar cultural situation. So, according to Byram, Dierdorf, and Lassit and Frank, intercultural communication competence need the full attention to attitude, motivation, skills, and knowledge. So with the emphasis on transforming student attitude and motivation to develop their intercultural communication competence, this paper will share some, experiential strategies used in intercultural communication lesson to change the students' attitude towards a more ethno-reality perspective in Vietnamese context. And first of all, I would like to provide some kinds of backgrounds uh, uh, for teaching intercultural communication in Vietnam. As you know, teaching this course in Vietnam is challenging because it demands a teacher to ensure both to raise intercultural awareness and to reduce stereotypes and overgeneralizations for students, because most of our students have not had much intercultural experience or gone abroad. So here are some problems with the Vietnamese students. This is via teachers' observations, small chats, through a lot of activities in class and out of class activities. The first one here is inferior complex. So for example, I have never been to America, so I don't know about them. So they refuse to recognize the other's culture. The culture other than their own Vietnamese one. Or sometimes they have a stereotypes on other cultures, like, as I know, the American people are like this or are like that. Or some feeling of overgeneralization, like I met an American guy, then the American people are like this or will behave like that. Okay, so I mean, they generalize one case to many other cases, or they have some kinds of ethnocentric views of thinking, like foreigners who come to Vietnam must know Vietnamese culture, so it's okay to treat them as a Vietnamese. Okay, so in language teaching, the concept of communicative competence takes this into account by emphasizing that language learner needs to acquire not just only grammatical competence, but also the knowledge of what is considered appropriate language, according to Byram in 2002. However, to develop the learner's intercultural communication competence, the teacher should pay attention to not only to knowledge, but also to attitude, motivation, and skill. So, um, in and according to the adopt here, we have it. We also pay attention to internal and external outcomes. So my study here focuses on changing student attitude toward cultural differences via the experiential strategies. So that's one thing I often remind my student that is that students should see themselves as a cultural being, and students have their own perspective, values. Okay, each person has his or her own perspective, values, and attitudes, social norms, etc. Okay, personal norms. So when each one are aware of his or her own, he or she will see the other needs in intercultural interaction. So promoting the cultural self-awareness here, student can be more tolerant to cultural differences. So this can help change their ethnocentric perspective to a more ethno-relative one. So here are some, strategies, suggested strategies for cultural learning. Okay, as by Frank here, such as culture collection, cultural observation, web quests, cultural informants, role plays, or cultural journals. However, um, in our lesson here, we pay attention to the roles of the teachers and the role of the student. So the roles of the teacher here is to raise the students' awareness of their own cultures from which they see the others, or to motivate them to explore their own cultural self-needs. Their own values, their own beliefs, norms, and other practices, and to provide them knowledge of cultural information. Just cultural information, not the specific culture, to enhance their conceptualization and boost their critical skill of adaptation. So, and as Byram noted, teaching intercultural communication is not the transmission of information about a foreign country, nor the requirement of visiting the target cultures or country. So here, we teachers often remind our students that there's no need to come to a particular country in order to, have a kinds of intercultural competence for with that people of that country. So what I applied in my course here, I use some kind of strategies like project-based exploration of cultural behaviors and perception, reflection papers of personal identity, use of intercultural materials such as books, film, blogs, clips, short clips, etc. For group critical analysis, and I also use reflection surveys as a prompts for student skill action. For example, at the beginning of the course, I just show them some kinds of cultural situation, and through some video clips, and ask them what they feel. Do they think that this is the people's behavior here are correct or incorrect, right or wrong, appropriate or inappropriate. And then by the end of the course, I also show those videos again and ask them the same questions. And this is to see the changes in the answer. So this paper presents a showcase of our student work and demonstration of students changing attitude toward the cultural differences and their openness to adapt in an intercultural environment. I mean, by the end of the course, the aim of this one to the student of this course, to the student here, is, to help them have a respect the diversity and respect the diversity and respect the differences, tolerance, acceptance, empathy, solidarity, and reduction of culture and social biases. And here are some of our activities. We design different activities and assignments for the student to work both in class and out of class. So for example, I mean, I cannot show you all of the activities here, just only some of these. For example, I asked the student to work in groups and conduct a small scale survey. Okay. Uh, okay, like design and conduct a small scale survey on a particular community's common beliefs, values, social norms. Okay. And here's one example of this. I mean, this is a video clips made by a group of students on the topic premarital sex. I mean, they just conducted the survey to see how people perceive this one and do they accept this. Here, I mean, I just skip some part. And here's our student here. This one, of course,
Confucianism
I mean, some kinds of
study conducted by the Health Ministry found that before marriage.
I mean, literature
The
review.
purpose of this study.
Okay, and here's the topics. The first one here is premarital sex, and they interviewed 11 people from different cultures who came to Hanoi. For most of them are tourists.
Was to identify premarital sexual intercourse related individual factors among adolescents, while traditional values, religious instructions, and the laws of some countries.
Sorry, can you hear the sound of the video?
Yes, we can hear it.
Yeah.
It is clear.
Thank you. Thank you.
Continue to prescribe abstinence until marriage. The rapid societal changes that have occurred across all religions during the past half-century have resulted in the growing prevalence and acceptability of premarital sex. This qualitative study was performed on the adults. The study sample includes male and female ranged from 19 to 60 years old, selected using the convenient sampling method. Semi-structured interviews were used to collect data. All interviews were conducted in a comfortable atmosphere between 3 to 5 minutes. Interviews continued until data saturation occurred. The participation in the study was voluntary by obtaining an informed consent.
The first question: do you agree with
I'm not religious at all, so I think
premarital sex?
I agree because I think everyone should do what they want to do. If I think it's okay, I think it's okay. I agree.
Yes, I think it's fine, but that's just personal.
Yeah, I do. Yes.
So if two people are in agreement with it, it's okay.
Không nên.
Thực ra quan điểm rõ ràng là cô không đồng tình. Đấy. Nó đúng thực tâm là không đồng tình.
Okay. So, I mean, through this example, you can see the difference between the Vietnamese informants, I mean, interviewees, and the foreigners one. And from this one, they can have some kinds of, I mean, conclusion about the differences. And this can I mean, this helps them to have another perspectives of, I mean, other cultures, what they believe, what they values. Okay, and another example of this, I mean, I asked them to make a mini blog or vlog of self-exploration. I mean, they are asked to make a small clips about what change. I mean, how something or somebody changing me, entitled how something or somebody changes me, what change you. Just follow the sample by Nest Daily, how travel changes me. And here's an example of this.
Hello everyone, this is Khánh Nguyen and today's video is about one photography project. Actually, it is a collection of photos that has changed my mind. Well, before introducing it to you, I'm gonna tell you how I used to think about beauty in the past. Once upon a time, there was a little girl who had been taught that. Rồi ơi, dạo này đi nắng nhiều quá hay sao mà đen thế? Con gái con đứa phải trắng trẻo chứ. Đứa là tóc phải đen dài. Therefore, she always believed that a beautiful girl is the one who had long jet black hair, white pale skin, and large round eyes with double eyelids. Till one day in 2017, the little girl was me came across a piece of news on the internet about a project called the Atlas of Beauty, which showcased the diversity of beauty around the world. Then I clicked on it out of curiosity with an initial purpose to see what it is, and this click had provided me with a whole new perspective of how beauty varied from one place to another, and it helped me to define beauty in my own way. I can see you're being impatient to discover this project, so let's check it out.
Skip this one.
In every picture of the collection, I realized that beauty has no rule. Beauty is not limited to long jet black hair, pale porcelain skin, or double-lidded eyes as I used to think. And I realized that you don't need to have long jet black hair to be beautiful, like this girl or these two girls. They are not white, but they're still shiny. Or like this girl, a face full of freckles is so attractive and stunning though. More important, I've learned that beauty is everywhere, regardless of money, race, or social status. And it comes in many different sizes and colors. Every feature of you, no matter how fit and standard it is, will tell where you're from, what you do, and what you experienced. And it makes you unique, special, and definitely beautiful in your own way. Beauty should not be dictated by models on fashion magazines. Beauty is being yourself, natural and authentic. I used to hate my flat nose, my fat round face, and even my one-lid eyes, and I wanted to fix them by plastic surgeries. But now I have learned to accept and love my not so perfect things of myself. And now I'm totally confident with every natural feature of myself. And so do you, because you're beautiful without any standard.
Okay, so I mean, after this one, they can have some lesson for themselves. And another activity here is a writing reflection and essay. Reflecting the changes after the course, for example, what changes do you think the course has brought about to you, and compare the time before and after you learned this course. I mean, this kind of intercultural materials analysis. But here I would like to show you some I mean, if the student works about change what the course has changed them. Okay, we will leave some time for you to read the screen. Another one. Sorry, I move a little bit quickly, but I'm afraid of the time limitation here. So another one, the attitude toward LGBT people. So something like, I'm happy to say that now I view homosexuality as enriching. So this is a change in the attitude toward the diversity and differences. Or another example, changes in the gender roles, stereotypical gender roles, because in Vietnam here, many people often think that males should be, dominating, should function the role as a dominating one in the family and in the society. But here, as we can see, through the students' reflection paper, okay, or maybe changes from more from ethnocentric viewpoints to a more ethno-relative one. Okay, and the aim of my course here is to help the students suspend the judgment against the other people. We should view the world as a world of diversity and a lot of differences, but these differences will enrich their knowledge and the experience of life. Okay, this is another video clips by a group of people on the changes in gender equality, gender inequality, and changes to more gender equality. But I discuss.
Theo và làm theo.
For example, they interview the informants about the roles of the father and mothers in the family. Who's the breadwinner in your family? Do your mother and father share the same responsibility in your family?
Trụ cột trong gia đình thì là bố, bởi vì người luôn luôn gọi là biết giữ cán cân gia đình, đó là người đàn ông trong gia đình. Chắc chắn là cân bằng, bởi vì bố là bên ngoài, mẹ bên trong. Người trong gia đình phải người bên ngoài, người bên trong. Người bên ngoài lo kiếm tiền về, nhưng người bên trong không có người bên trong thì không ai là người giữ tiền và người quản lý gia đình, ai nuôi dạy con cái.
Và nhà chị ạ.
Đúng rồi ạ.
Nói về trụ cột thì thường là bố, chị là người làm.
Vậy
Thật ra thì nhà chị thì khá là hiện đại. Nếu như mà nói về ai nắm trụ cột thì nó nói như thế thì nó hơi gắt. Có thể là mỗi người đều san sẻ một chút việc cho nhau. Khá là hiện đại là bởi vì mẹ chị không nhất quyết là người phụ nữ phải là cái người nội trợ hay là gì cả, có thể cũng ra ngoài kiếm tiền hay là san sẻ việc nhà cho nhau, cho nên là không không làm quá cái vấn đề là ai nắm trụ cột ở trong nhà.
Xưa thì trong gia đình nhà tôi thì là bố tôi là người mà làm trụ cột trong gia đình, nên là lớn nhỏ gì là bố tôi quyết định hết, mẹ tôi chỉ đã có nghe theo và làm theo thôi, chứ không có được quyết định một cái gì.
Okay, so I mean, through this one, students can learn a lot of things around them, and by the end of the course here, I mean our study results reflect the student changes in attitude toward cultural differences. They become more tolerant and accept cultural differences. They can have some kinds of, self-improvement in their skill, knowledge, and motivation to attain appropriateness and effectiveness. Sometimes the changes here can be from a very small thing, such as the solution to the disagreement and conflicts in their daily habits, to a bigger perspective like the change in the worldview of LGBT people or Muslim people. And moreover, the student can be reminded that intercultural communication is a continuum or endless process. Meeting people of different cultures and countries, or exposing to different cultural values and behavior here, or experiencing unexpected, even shock cultural situation cannot be avoided in the future. But the more they communicate, the richer intercultural communication experiences they will have. And the student will see the need to develop their own critical cultural awareness. And by the end of the course here, they learn to respect for diversity, to have acceptance, empathy, solidarity, reduction of cultural and social biases through exposures and experiences. And they have a more sharing and cooperating attitude. And thank you very much for your listening. This is the end of my presentation, and now I'm willing to answer any questions from the audience. So we've got a few minutes left, and I'm willing to answer any question relating to, my presentation.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Mai Thanh. And please, from participants here, we are welcome all of your questions to our presenter today. You can either type the question in the chat box, or because it is now, because of a time limit, you can just speak out your question. It is okay.
I've just presented, strategies and activities for, enhancing intercultural competence for students. And here's a student English as a foreign language. Because here, our student here is an English major one. And when teaching intercultural communication, we often teach them the kinds of, culture, some kinds of background concepts in order to adapt and enhance the competence, intercultural communication competence, rather than giving the specific instruction to communicate in a particular cultures. And it is almost impossible to do so, to do with to give the specific instruction for every cultures. We just learn, to communicate in general. And attitude, changing attitude, providing knowledge here will help them to improve their skill.
Thank you, Ms. Mai Thanh. And so because because the time is up, so if any of the participants here, if you have any question relating to Ms. Mai Than's presentation, you can email her directly if you don't have time here in our Zoom.
Yeah, it is being recorded, so we can watch this again later. So
yes,
does
sure.
Vietjis provide a link to our video? So we can re-watch it later?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Thang. And we will stop our session today now, and we will be coming to our next presenters. There is a group of presenters actually in 5 minutes.